In 2014, the Lomé seaport in Togo became a symbol of Africa's growing importance in global trade. But for one man, it was just another step in his expansive empire. That man is Vincent Bolloré, a French billionaire known for his quiet but relentless pursuit of influence across various industries, from logistics to energy to media. Over the decades, Bolloré has built an empire that stretches across continents. Today, his sights are set on acquiring Africa's largest media company, MultiChoice. But before we get into Bolloré's ambitious plans for MultiChoice, I want to remind you to check out our previous video where we explored the rise of MultiChoice itself. It's a story of how a small pay TV service grew to dominate over 50 countries on the African continent. Today we're taking that story one step further as we examine the man trying to seize control of this media giant. Vincent Bolloré was born in April 1952 into a family that had already established itself in business circles. The Bolloré family fortune was built on paper manufacturing, but by the early 1980s the company was in trouble. Like many family businesses, it faced challenges adapting to a changing global economy. Enter a young and determined Vincent Bolloré, who in 1981 took control of the family business. Rather than sticking to tradition, Bolloré charted a bold new course. He diversified the company's interests into areas no one had imagined: logistics, transportation, and even media. Over the following decades, he transformed the Bolloré Group into a multinational conglomerate with vast holdings in ports, railways, plantations, and television networks. One of Bolloré's most significant business moves came in the 1990s, when he shifted his focus towards Africa. Recognizing the potential of the continent, he poured investments into African logistics and infrastructure. His company at one point managed 16 container terminals across the continent, including major West African ports like Conakry in Guinea and Port-Noir in Congo. But Bolloré did not stop at logistics. The Bolloré Group also became a major player in agriculture, controlling around 187,000 hectares of oil palm and rubber plantations across Africa and Asia. This extensive network of operations earned Bolloré tremendous influence, but also a fair amount of criticism, especially regarding labor practices on his plantations. While Bolloré was building his empire in Africa, back in France he became known for something else: corporate raiding.
Bolloré has a reputation. He's a skilled corporate raider with a well-established strategy.
Bolloré's strategy was simple yet effective: buy significant stakes in companies, assert influence on their boards, and either stage a hostile takeover or exit with massive profits. One of his most notable ventures was his power struggle with Bouygues, a French construction and telecom giant. After an intense corporate battle, Bolloré walked away with a hefty capital gain. In 2016, he applied a similar tactic with Ubisoft, one of the world's leading video game companies. Bolloré's Canal Plus acquired a 27% stake in Ubisoft, sparking fears that he would attempt a hostile takeover. However, Ubisoft fought back, eventually forming an alliance with Tencent Games to buy out Bolloré's stake for $2.4 billion. These moves cemented Bolloré's reputation as a corporate raider, someone who could skillfully maneuver within financial and regulatory systems to gain control over powerful companies. Now he's set his sights on MultiChoice, Africa's leading pay TV service. So why MultiChoice? To understand Bolloré's interests, you need to understand what MultiChoice represents. Founded in 1986, MultiChoice operates in over 50 African countries, and it boasts a subscriber base of more than 15 million people. It offers a rich library of local African content through its satellite platforms dstv and gotv, and its streaming service Showmax. MultiChoice is more than just a media company. It plays a critical role in Africa's cultural ecosystem, providing everything from Nollywood films to live sports broadcasts. It also has helped build local content industries across the continent, creating jobs and opportunities for African filmmakers and producers. For Vincent Bolloré, MultiChoice presents several strategic advantages. First, it allows Canal Plus to expand its stronghold from Francophone Africa into the English-speaking parts of the continent. Second, the acquisition would help Bolloré significantly boost his company's subscriber numbers. Canal Plus has been aiming to hit 50 million global subscribers, and adding MultiChoice's user base would be a huge step toward achieving that goal. Bolloré's interest in MultiChoice first became apparent in 2020 when Canal Plus acquired a 5% stake in the company. Over the next 3 years, Canal Plus continued to increase its shareholdings, and by 2023 its stake had risen to over 35%. According to South African law, any shareholder with more than 35% must make a mandatory takeover offer, and that's exactly what Bolloré did. In February 2024, Canal Plus made its first buyout offer for MultiChoice. However, the board rejected the offer, claiming it undervalued the company. Bolloré returned in March 2024 with a revised offer of $1.7 billion.
The MultiChoice Group is considering the buyout by French firm Canal Plus.
To help ensure his takeover complies with South Africa's black empowerment laws, he has enlisted the support of black South African billionaire Patrice Motsepe. Motsepe's involvement provides Bolloré with the local credibility he needs to win over stakeholders concerned about foreign control. As the takeover attempt unfolds, many African consumers have started to express concerns. What happens if MultiChoice is absorbed into Bolloré's empire? Will prices go up? Will we still have the same access to the same range of local African content? One of the biggest fears is that Bolloré's Canal Plus might raise subscription costs, especially in markets where it would effectively have a monopoly. Another major concern revolves around content. MultiChoice has invested heavily in local African programming, supporting talent and production houses across the continent. With Bolloré in control, some worry that this focus on local content could diminish, replaced by more international programming that might not resonate as well with African audiences. A reduction in content diversity could be a blow to African culture, as it's precisely the rich, locally relevant stories that have made MultiChoice such an integral part of daily life across the continent. In the grand scheme of things, Vincent Bolloré's bid for MultiChoice represents more than just a corporate takeover. It's the future of Africa's media landscape. As more international players like Netflix enter the African market, local players like MultiChoice are under pressure to innovate and compete. For Bolloré, acquiring MultiChoice would not only strengthen Canal Plus's position in Africa, but would also give him leverage to challenge global streaming giants. But at what cost? For African audiences, the real question is whether Bolloré's takeover will lead to better services and more content choices, or if it will limit the very diversity that has made MultiChoice successful. Only time will tell, but one thing is clear. Vincent Bolloré is not a man who gives up easily. As the battle for MultiChoice continues to unfold, we will be watching closely to see who ultimately wins, and what that victory will mean for Africa's media future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of African business. Let us know your thoughts on Bolloré's bid for MultiChoice in the comments below. Should Africa's largest media company remain independent?